had been born on the American side of the river and had shared advantages of school and contact, seldom the lot of most señoritas. Vaughn ruminated over these few facts as the excuse for his infatuation. For a Texas Ranger to fall in love with an ordinary Mexican girl was unthinkable. To be sure, it had happened, but it was something not to think about. Rosetta, however, was extraordinary. She was pretty and slight of stature, so slight that Vaughn felt ludicrous despite his bliss while dancing with her. If he had stretched out his long arm and she had walked under it, he would have had to lower his hand considerably to touch her glossy black head. She was roguish and coquettish, yet had the pride of her Spanish forebears. Lastly, she was young, rich, the belle of Las Animas, and the despair of cowboy and vaquero alike. When Vaughn had descended to the depths of his brooding, he discovered, as he had many times before, that there were but slight grounds for any hopes which he may have had of winning the beautiful Rosetta. The sweetness of a haunting dream was all that could be his. Only this time it seemed to hurt more. He should not have let himself in for such a catastrophe. But as he groaned in spirit and bewailed his lonely state, he could not help recalling Rosetta's smiles, her favors of dances when scores of admirers were thronging after her, and the way she would single him out on those occasions. Un ces for grande, she had called him, and likewise handsome gringo. And once, with mystery and fire in her slow black eyes, you Texas Ranger, you bloody gunman killer of Mexicans. Flirt Rosetta was, of course, and doubly dangerous by reason of her mixed blood, her Spanish lineage, and her American upbringing. Ubaldo had been quoted as saying he would never let his daughter marry across the Rio Grande. Some rich rancher's son would have her hand bestowed upon him. Maybe young Glover would be the lucky one. It was madness for Vaughn even to have dreamed of winning her. Yet there still abided that much youth in him. Sounds of wheels and hoofs interrupted the ranger's reverie. He listened. A buggy had stopped out in front. Vaughn got up and looked round the corner of the house. It was significant that he instinctively stepped out sideways, his right hand low where the heavy gun sheath hung. A ranger never presented his full front to possible bullets. It was a trick of old hands in the service. Someone was helping a man out of the buggy. Presently Vaughn recognized Colville, a ranger comrade who came in assisted, limping, and with his arm in a sling. "How are you, Bill?" asked Vaughn solicitously as he helped the driver lead Colville into the large whitewashed room. "All right, fine. In fact, only a little lightheaded," panted the other. "Lost a sight of blood. You look it. Reckon you'd have done better to stay at the hospital." "Medill, there ain't half enough rangers to go round," replied Colville. "Cap Ellerton's hurt bad, but he'll recover, and he thought so long as I could wag, I'd better come back to headquarters." "Uh-huh. What's up, Bill?" asked the ranger quietly. He really did not need to ask. "Sure, I don't know. Something to do with Quinella," replied Colville. "Help me out of my coat. It's hot and dusty. Fetch me a cold drink." "Bill, you should have stayed in town if it's ice you want," said Vaughn as he filled a dipper from the water bucket. "Haven't I run this shebang many a time?" "Medill, you're slated for a run across the Rio, if I don't miss my guess." "Hell, you say. Alone?" "How else, unless the rest of our outfit rides in from the Brazos. Anyway, don't they call you the Lone Star Ranger?" "Sure you don't have a hunch what's up?" inquired Vaughn again. "Honest, I don't. Allerton had to wait for more information. Then he'll send instructions, but we know Quinella was hanging around with some deviltry afoot." "Bill, that bandit outfit is plumb bold these days," said Vaughn reflectively. "I wonder how." "We're all guessing.